current world champion Max Verstappen wowed F1 last season with his back-to-back wins, and he's still impressing fans with his victories this season. However, his success also points to a more subtle character who's turning wheels behind the scenes. So who is helping steer the young Dutchman into victory? And most especially, how has this person influenced Verstappen's winnings? Stay tuned as we check out one of the masterminds behind the world champion. While it's undeniable that fast cars play a critical role in winning a race, having a full tank of gas and speed alone won't guarantee victory. In fact, factors like weather conditions, competition from other teams, and unexpected variables such as safety cars can make driving to the finish line a much more complex task. That's why a team must be able to adapt to the ever-changing conditions of the race and work around other pieces of the puzzle to come out on top. And that's where strategy comes in. In Formula 1, strategy is one of the most important components of a race. A well-planned strategy can mean the difference between winning and losing. Now, the team must consider a range of factors, such as tyre wear, fuel consumption, and pit stops, as well as the performance of the other teams. By analysing these factors and making the right strategic decisions, a team can gain an edge and ultimately cross the finish line in the first place. Take a look at what Alex Albon achieved with Williams in the last F1 season. He managed to finish 10th in the Australian Grand Prix and score the first point for his team from the back of the grid. But what's even more remarkable is that he did it all with just one pair of hard tyres. Starting from the last position on the grid, Albon could have been written off before the race even began. But he defied the odds and pulled off an incredible feat. And it wasn't just a matter of sheer luck. Albon's success was the result of careful planning and strategy. He knew exactly what he needed to do to make the most of the hard tyres and stay competitive throughout the race. Most teams tend to start with a pair of hard compounds and then switch to a middle or soft compound later in the race. But Albon did things differently. He stuck with the hard compound from the start of the race and maintained it until the very end. This was a risky move as it meant the tyres had to last longer than usual. However, Albon was able to use the safety stops to his advantage and make the most of the hard tyres, thus challenging Pirelli as he drove down the track. In a similar and more sophisticated fashion, the Red Bull team has shown that they have what it takes to be champions by boasting of an efficient car and an impeccable strategy. Max Verstappen's success on the track is undoubtedly remarkable, but he owes a part of it to the strategic genius behind the team's every move. Hannah Schmidt, the team strategist who's played a crucial role in steering the team towards numerous victories. So who is Hannah Schmidt? Meet Schmidt, the principal strategy engineer at Red Bull, and she's a force to be reckoned with. From a young age, Schmidt had a keen interest in cars and engineering, and she's worked hard to hone her skills in this field over the years. After earning her master's degree in mechanical engineering in 2009, the Cambridge University graduate wasted no time in securing an internship at Red Bull that same year. And since then, she's made steady progress within the team to reach her current position. Schmidt started out as a modelling and simulation engineer at Red Bull and quickly climbed the ranks to become senior strategy engineer in 2011, a position she's held for a decade. However, it was her winning call at the 2019 Brazilian Grand Prix that really put in the spotlight among F1 fans. When a late safety car was deployed, Schmidt made the bold decision to pit Verstappen from the lead, and it paid off big time. Verstappen flew past Lewis Hamilton to claim victory, and Schmidt was even called onto the podium to collect the trophy. That remarkable win, alongside her experience and other past efforts, facilitated her promotion to principal strategy engineer. Now, it's important to note that her ascension to that position has not been easy, and she testified that being a woman in that position made it quite hard to gain the trust of the team. As a strategist, you have to give instructions to people and they have to carry them out for a successful execution. But the job becomes a bit difficult if your judgment calls aren't trusted. However, Schmidt seems to have successfully scaled past that hurdle and is now pushing the team to consecutive championships. Let's take a look at her most notable winning call for last season, and this was at the Hungarian Grand Prix. To fully understand her genius move, let's compare their rival team, Scuderia Ferrari. Ferrari definitely built a strong car last season, which can be described as one of the fastest on the track. However, despite having a fast car, they struggled to win more races due to mistakes and a lack of effective strategy. The F175 was a beast at the beginning of the season, as evidenced by their drivers taking the first and second positions in the very first race. This was a significant improvement from their previous performances and a promising start to the season. In fact, at the beginning of the 2022 season, it seemed like Ferrari's Charles Leclerc was on track to win the championship title. His performance, however, faltered midway through the season and he lost his leading position to Max Verstappen. And the prancing horse's poor strategy was on full display during the Hungarian Grand Prix. Despite their lead driver Charles Leclerc expressing his preference for medium tyres during the race, the team made the decision to switch to hard tyres, which Leclerc had explicitly stated that he didn't want. The result? Well, it was quite disastrous, as Leclerc lost his speed and was overtaken not once but twice by Max Verstappen, who went on to win the race. Consequently, Leclerc was left frustrated and angry, cursing out the team's poor decision making. While Ferrari might not have been in a position to win the race, their poor strategy cost them a podium position, which Leclerc had the pace to achieve, thus allowing Verstappen to further establish his lead as the main contender for the championship title. Now, how did Schmidt perform in comparison? Well, despite qualifying in 10th place for the Hungarian Grand Prix, Max Verstappen managed to secure a surprising victory. His performance on race day left not only F1 fans but the entire community in awe, as many had predicted a podium win at best. However, Verstappen exceeded expectations with the help of his team, who strategically planned and executed every move like chess pieces on a board. The credit for Verstappen's victory cannot be solely attributed to him, as his team played a significant role in his success. The team's mastermind made calculated decisions that favoured the Dutch driver throughout the race, leading him to emerge victorious. At the onset of the race, the team had a classic strategy in mind, intending to begin with hard tyres and push them to their limit before switching to a different set. However, they also had a contingency plan in place, which would come in handy if specific circumstances emerged during the race. We had also actually talked a lot pre-race about if the conditions are a bit damp and very cool, as they might have been, and that we would consider the soft tyres the alternative, because that might be better in those conditions. And then on the lap to the grid, both the drivers were very vocal about having hardly any grip, even though they were already on the soft tyre, Schmitz explained. So yeah, the race engineers were like, I don't think the hard's a good idea. We all had a long discussion about it with Christian as well, and decided to change to soft tyres. There was a little bit of rain in the air as well, so really that was the better tyre for those conditions. Now, upon assessing the track conditions, the team realised that the initial plan of starting with hard tyres and switching later would not be the best approach. Hence, Schmidt, the team strategist, opted for tyres that were better suited for the track and the race. This decision paid off well, and as a result, Verstappen clinched his 8th victory of the season. What was Verstappen's reaction after the race? You can't afford many mistakes, the Dutchman explained. It's of course very hard to always be on the good side, let's say it like that, but I think we have a lot of good guys and girls in the team. Today I think Hannah, our strategist, was insanely calm. Yeah, she's very good. Schmidt has received several accolades for exceptional performance, and this is not the first time. The team principal, Christian Horner, has been vocal in his praises for her, along with Helmut Marko, the motorsport boss. What does she have to say regarding the win? The drivers have a lot of feelings as well in the car, so we try to take that on board, take on board what the race engineers say. They might be looking at different data to the strategists, so taking all that information on board and we discuss everything. But at the end of the day, it's a strategy call, so we make the final call, but we try and just make the final call and use as much information as we can to make those decisions, Schmitz commented. So how is she able to achieve consecutive successes? Well, as Verstappen rightly pointed out, Schmidt's calm demeanour has been one of the key factors in her success as a strategist. Schmidt also agrees that staying calm is one of the most critical attributes a strategist can possess. Her ability to remain composed and think rationally under pressure has undoubtedly contributed to the team's success. Schmidt's approach to strategic decision-making serves as a reminder of the importance of keeping a cool head in high-pressure situations. This season is looking especially bright for the Milton Keynes team, and we might even be looking at another championship both for Verstappen and the team. So what do you think of the genius strategist behind all of this? Let us know in the comment section down below.